Damn, you were not fangirling all over it.
Nope.
Curse.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely cursed. I need to go cancel you on Twitter.
Joke's on you. I deleted that shit.
Oh. It's actually very convenient because I did too. I'd be so fucked if I had to like actually deliver on my threats.
I agree.
Okay, so who are we leaving on? A few people. Probably.
Just about everyone else, I think.
Damn. Lateness is the essence of degeneracy. Someone go poke or punch them. Either works.
I mean, we've already just added everybody else, so.
I'm back. Sorry, I did not realize this would be happening.
Well, it is, but welcome back.
All the things are always happening all the time. You just don't know it.
Correct. I was thinking, oh, I can quickly just, clean up my sink a little bit, come back. Everyone's here already. Oh no.
Not
No, not
everyone.
everyone's here.
Besides Paolo, but close enough. It's Jethro. I heard so much about him.
Oh, you have?
I was in the other game on the other server.
Oh.
Don't worry, I tell only the most cursed gossip about everyone who's not around at the moment.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
So any
I
of your
hear nickel
secrets
for
that
every
are
time
like
we hit him.
truly cursed, they won't get told. But the real cursed shit, that's what gets told. Like if you ever like Fosh, that is like the first thing to go.
If I had a nickel for every time there was a military based character in this campaign, I'd have 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened thrice.
Look,
Yeah, it's
Star
definitely gonna
Knights
be
are
interesting.
rad.
Military uniforms are just cool. I'm sorry, officer. I absolutely wasted $1,000 gold on my pistol for no reason, but you know what? It's funny, so we take those. Because I gave it the impacting rune, which it does not need.
Everything needs an impacting rune.
I don't even remember what impacting does.
uh,
I don't know either. I just know that everyone needs one.
Oh, I forgot to give it the impacting rune. Good thing I checked. Impactful rune, I'm sorry. On a critic, I do an additional d6 force damage, and on a critical hit, I can choose to force my target to succeed a DC 27 fort save or be pushed 5 feet away from me. It's essentially a
Oh.
back off.
Get BTFO'd, mate.
Be gone, thought. I also have 2 magical structures in my inventory. Why? It's fun. I have more items invested than I can reasonably have. This is unfortunate. They added up so fast.
Items do not add. I learned that from math class.
I was wondering, like, sleeves of storage. Oh, that requires investment too? No! Devilry, I tell you. Oh, fine. Goodbye, Masquerade Scarf. I don't need you now. I'll at least have my Cape of Grand Entrances. Unoptimal. Oh, that's just mean.
Folk review checked on the other players.
Guardian said they'll be here in 5, and Sprout theoretically should be here in 15.
Gotcha.
Oh, we lost our cleric. Oh no.
Yeah.
Mild fear.
Yeah, I was debating on addressing that, or rather, what kind of character to write for that.
At the bare minimum, I can do some healing, and I don't generally need healing because I have the pearly white spindle, my beloved. It's technically active, but the game doesn't register that because it's covered under the by wayfinder, the bisexual wayfinder. There we go. I cannot pronounce it.
Well, the main thing is whatever I do, I also would want to account for the idea that the current cleric would be coming back. So I don't necessarily want to be like, oh, well, let's just run 2 clerics. But there are definitely ways to fill that role without having to do that.
At least I can technically heal people for 40 points of at least 3 times a 3 times and then focus for 10 minutes and then heal people again. So oh god. So that's fast healing 10, I think. Yeah. I have to say, I am very happy with some of the new spells that they have added. Just instant minefield. It's so dumb. I love it.
Hmm. I'm gonna have to be careful around you.
Correct. Instant, by the way, PTSD go. Congratulations. You are now in the middle of Vietnam. No, you didn't have a choice.
Is this like popping a firework in the middle of the co-op?
Essentially. I'm essentially throwing you into flashback hell.
Although it's interesting that it's discretionary. Only enemies have to make the save.
True. Very funny, though.
Yeah, allies just instant fail to save and take full damage. No, I'm kidding.
But it doesn't do damage.
Congratulations, you are now
Bye.
frightened 3 and stunned 2.
Yay!
You get free shell shock.
My turn gone.
I hope someone here has a shield.
Nope.
Oh no. Oh no.
Do you have
That-
some kind of like spell or ability that specifically worked on allies that have shield?
Yes. It's
Ah.
fine. Not the worst thing in the world.
Oh. I mean, you could just take a different feat.
I suppose I can. Now let me go back to Path Builder quickly.
I mean, you could also just check in the in here.
The party sheet does unfortunately not tell me who has a shield.
No, I guess not. It only shows what we've put in the stash, and I don't think half of us even realize there is a stash.
Defensive coordination. Cool. You will be replaced.
See, if you were still a commander, though, we'd have 2 characters with guns you could help out.
I could. However,
Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if Dax is gonna have a gun.
excellent. All right. I'll quickly go grab snackies.
Oh, look, a new friend.
Hello, Noodle.
Salutations. Tis I, the guardian of noodles.
But do you have a gun?
I do not. I have a sword and a crossbow.
Okay. I was curious because I was talking with Centro earlier if they were still a commander. But I was like, wait, does Dax have a gun? Because I remember you said they worked for the military, but
No, he's he uses a sword cane and a crossbow and a blow dart tube
Classy.
because he's a toxicologist. So poison.
But also, you need some of that Holmes or I guess Watson kind of flair.
Mhm.
So you've got Lay Cane that is a lay sword.
Yes, if you get the exquisite version, you can also just whack people with the sheath as a club.
Oh. I have a
Yeah.
similar attachment for my rifle where I can also just whack people with the stock.
Mm-hmm. And there's also some special bits to the sword cane I got that are special tools that will help us later.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
am curious. Although maybe I can.
I'm gonna have to add transparency to the background of that icon.
It is strange.
Oh shit, it's Sprout. The infamous Sprout I've heard so much about.
Sprout, but it's winter.
No, it's fall.
It
Fall
is
on
the
these. I mean, what?
it's the 30th of November. It's winter.
Doesn't winter not start until the solstice?
It does, but I do not essentially after Thanksgiving it's winter.
Fair enough. Especially because, don't know where you live, but here in Iowa, we just got quite a few inches.
We're getting a couple inches on Tuesday.
I can give you 6.
Snow! Snow!
Hey, I'll take him up on that offer.
Oh hell yeah!
Catches, you got to come to New York, not city,
Oof.
but
Oh no, you could fly out to Texas.
I think I would rather die.
Damn.
The fuck, I'm flying out to New York in the middle of the winter.
Would you like to know what cold feels like?
No, I'm good.
Coward.
I used to work as a butcher, and I had to spend a lot of time in a blast freezer. I know what cold feels like. I don't need to experience it anymore.
You don't need to feel it all the time whenever you go outside.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that's fair. I did work at the freezer for one company, and then I moved to a different one and worked in the fridge.
I mean, I don't know if I would call what we had at Fairway a blast freezer. I guess we had a fridge and a freezer. Both walk-in, of course, but
Yeah, I worked
No,
as a
ours
wage
had
lead.
like jet force winds constantly blowing.
okay, that sounds horrific.
Oh yeah, no, it was awful. The little butcher's coat they gave us did not. But
No,
somebody
it did
had to get the
not.
turkeys out of the freezer. And since I was the apprentice, it was my job.
You were the apprentice butcher.
Yes.
Oh.
That was my title, apprentice butcher. I think they call them meat cutters now.
You cannot afford this item. Okay, never mind. Maybe I don't need a silver weapon. If I do, I'll cry.
Why do you need a silver weapon, huh?
For fun.
I have wolfsbane poison on me if we really run into something that needs it.
I'm also a champion, so not too much of an issue. I can literally just touch of the void them and steal their soul.
Okay, interesting.
Fetch me their souls.
Well, see, you do that before sending the dogs out, not before calling them.
Okay, so I am going to initiate a little bit of conversation since Paolo seems to be running late.
Okay.
Like later than he said or something. I don't know. Anyways, so first and foremost, there was a ping semi recently about the fact or the idea of going to essentially a quote unquote lost continent. And it's going to be a place that is very jungle heavy with 3 main tribes. And I will go over the details of those briefly, but the first thing I will mention is that going into this, you have the option of having a character that either comes from Hoshizora, in which case you will essentially be someone who was selected, like an adventurer that was selected by Reina to go to this place, and your goal is to essentially convince the tribes that are there to share their arts and knowledge with Hoshizora. So at least that's why you, as an adventurer, have been sent there. Obviously, your adhesion to that goal is up to the character, but nevertheless, your character probably at the very least managed to pass a lied test to say that yes, I will agree to try to get the cultural arts and sciences and knowledge from this place and bring it back to Hoshizora, maybe even convince a few of them to immigrate. The other option is if you are running either a kitsune, a nagaji, or a snake folk, or a dragonborn, you can opt to have actually been born on this jungle island / continent. I don't remember if it's like giant island or if it's a full continent, but anyways. So that's the first thing I'll mention. So I do know that a lot of character setups have been chosen, but the question is if anyone wants to opt for something of that sort with their race.
I definitely think my character would have volunteered to go to the unknown jungle to learn about science and stuff from another culture. And also probably study the plants and animals there.
Okay, yeah, and of course you'll be essentially bringing this back to the continent and also be trying to convince at least a couple natives to return with you at some point.
Mhm. Oh yeah. So my character's thing is he studies toxins. So going to a jungle is like, hell yeah.
Okay. I'll also be if you want to get any inspirations or anything like that for like the things that your character might be looking at rumors of or anything like that, I will also be getting the Moanji Expanse PDF during the sale tomorrow. So
Cool. Yeah, send that over.
My
as for
sorry.
okay, yeah, I was gonna ask if there's any opinions for either you, Centro, or Big.
Assume you go,
Go
Jethro.
ahead. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going. Any objections?
Nope.
All right. I'm thinking if our characters are coming from where we were last session, the palace, I would assume my character would be under the employ of that queen, if that's who Reina is. I'm not caught up on the lore. My apologies.
Yeah, so Reina, the one that we were, rescuing or whatever, she is the one who would be tasking you. But your character wouldn't necessarily have been part of that rescue or whatever, because you are running the Captain Goobane or whatever instead of the Fionia.
Yeah,
So
my
Goobane,
character probably arrives after to help protect her, and then he gets ordered to go with you, since or at least keep an eye on the party.
no, so Goobane wouldn't have come in at anything with or at anywhere around those particular events in the palace. Goobane would have been hired on basically on a separate occasion.
All right, that works.
Basically, yeah. So any of the party members that are coming from the main continent of Hoshizora, They will essentially be arriving at this jungle place by boat or airship, one of those two things. But essentially, you're going to be on the same transport, and you'll all understand that you're part of that same mission.
All right, that works.
And yeah, Jethro would also be coming from the mainland on Reyna's orders, considering, from what I heard, for his absence from the game, he was mainly doing just guard work on a seaport, if I remember right.
So maybe somewhere along the lines, Jethro eventually kind of like was caught wind, and since he was a part of the party that helped stop the war, Reyna obviously included him in the invitations, and Jethro was like, I could use something exciting again. That's not a literal war.
Correct? Yeah, that would be exactly it.
Cool. Okay, so as for my own character, I'm going to roll a different character that's going to, because I looked over the party's composition, classes, and builds, so I'm going to be bringing in a new character. My character will actually be from the jungle, so you will be meeting her at some point at the Florin's discretion or whatever.
Okay.
Excellent. I'll
It'll
just
be
say
a
Theonia got
surprise.
conscripted.
Right?
Thank
But
you
I
for
will say that,
rescuing me. Congratulations. You're getting a new job.
right. I will say at the very least for my character, she's going to be a sorcerer ranger.
Neat.
Fancy.
There's actually a really fun build that if I mix that in with the Foxfire Adept thing, since the Kitsune of Galarian content is enabled in this. So if I do the Foxfire Adept with those two classes, I can actually make a really fun build that I can either switch to basically full healer, or I can switch to full damage with some utility stuff. And as well, she'll be essentially crucial for navigating the jungle, because Ranger has all those things that are make you really good at survival.
Yep.
That'll be fun.
We didn't have free archetype, did we?
What's that?
We didn't have free archetype, did we?
No, but
Okay.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. So many of Sorcerer's feats are just hot garbage, and I can handle like sacrificing one or two Ranger feat slots as well to make the build work.
Yeah, no, I ended up using my dual class actually as kind of like a free archetype.
Yep, just wanted to make sure, because I was thinking something feels wrong. Even though I'm
Yeah,
100% sure
I
did
took
it
the
right.
medic archetype and basically spent like half of my feats for each class on the medic stuff.
I did something similar, but for the acrobat line.
Oh, Paolo will be joining us shortly, apparently. I am
Yep.
going to really quickly pee, and then once Paolo arrives, I'll give him the same spiel, and then I'll actually go over the three tribes that you'll be meeting in the jungle.
Cool.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, I went investigator alchemist. So I'm a
You're
toxicologist alchemist and forensic methodology investigator. He's a doctor.
I know gun.
I am champion bard. I support, and if someone gets in my way, I give them PTSD.
Actually, can I?
I can poison things that can't normally be poisoned.
And worst comes to worst, I just turn them to ash with acid.
Now, how do you have 31 AC?
Full plate?
Ah, okay. Also, yeah, wait, that makes sense, because you probably have better armor proficiency than I do.
Yeah, Raymond. My armor proficiency is expert.
I figured fighter would have given me greater armor proficiency, but guess not.
Fascinating. Maybe it's because I took the words. Maybe it's because of the vow I took. Obedience, although I don't think that would be that.
Unless
Yeah.
it tells you specifically, like, you get armor proficiency at an earlier level, which would be kind of silly for a subclass.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Weird. You should have gotten expert armor at level 7. Armor expertise.
Let me check that actually, because I know Gunslinger doesn't have particularly good armor, but
I think you at least get medium.
well, I mean like armor proficiency rather, because yeah, as a gunslinger you get up to medium, but because I'm going like full dex, I'm basically going armorless
Welcome, Sprout.
I'm here.
because that's just more effective. Plus bands of force. Also, hello, Paolo.
Hi, Paolo. Okay, so I need to tell you about the thing. So, obviously, you saw the ping and you interacted a little bit, and I think you may have even talked a little to the Thorns about it ahead of time. So the stuff with going to the jungle. So there are 3 tribes that are at the jungle, which are the Nagaji, the Dragonborn, and the Kitsune. And if your character is one of those 3 races, like if you're not specifically running Sprout, because obviously Sprout has a lot of backstory already, then you would have the option to make your character someone who was native to the jungle. Otherwise, you will essentially be on a mission from Reyna to go to this jungle, meet and greet the tribes, learn about their culture, art, science, and general knowledges, and try to bring some of that back to the main continent, perhaps even convince a couple of them to tag along back to the main continent at some point. Let me know if you need any of that repeated.
Nope, I'm ready to go.
Okay, so you already have all your character stuff figured out for that stuff?
I mean, I'm just playing Sprout.
Okay. Okay, so then just you'll be on. So you'll already have met. Well, actually, it'll be a reuniting with Jethro, Yippee. And then, of course, on the same transport to that jungle, you'll be meeting Captain Goobane and Dax, which is Noodle's character. And this will be with the understanding that Sprout did end up agreeing to do a task for Reyna's benefit. And I would say the reason why a Sprout might agree to it is because, from your perspective, the overall task is helping the people of Hoshizora on the whole, rather than just explicitly benefiting Reyna.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, of course, you get to check out a jungle, you get to learn about a whole bunch of new plants that your mentor never got to tell you about yet, like the exploding tree.
There are alternate reasons to be going here. The exploding tree?
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about the trees that have fruit, that when they fall off, they explode.
Oh, okay. Exploding fruit and exploding trees are completely different things.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Listen,
I was like, exploding trees.
Okay. So here's the thing. I read about the grenadier trees when I was reading about like this jungle island in Impossible Lands, and I was like, well, damn, that's fun. And then I learned that they were based on a real fucking tree.
Sick. We like
Yeah,
exploding trees. Apparently, it's an
they're
apple.
or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look at what the fruit actually looks like. But yeah,
Well,
there's
this probably
trees
isn't the same thing, but it's also apparently an apple kind. Anyway, I will stop talking now.
yeah, sorry, I was gonna say these are genuinely trees like in South America, and they grow a bunch of giant thorns, and they grow fruit, and that is extremely poisonous, and also the sap is extremely poisonous. And if and the fruit is not meant to be eaten, it's instead just once it withers and dries up, it just falls and then just fucking explodes
I love
when it hits
that.
the ground.
Excellent.
Yeah. Anyway, so importantly, then let's see, get this text document up. Okay, so the three tribes that you will be meeting on this jungle continent island place. There are the Savari, shamanistic serpent folk, and they are very focused on using primal magics in general in order to survive in the harsh jungles. They were originally brought to the jungle through a vision from Nalanavati, the snake god, showing the secrets to developing new poisons and also how to tap into a new source of primal magic that could completely change their understanding of primal magic in general. Although not all of the serpent folk are necessarily primal magic users, but there is in general for their kind, they see a lot of potential for growth as a species slash race in this jungle. So, and they continue to spend their time trying to learn the secrets of, or the deeper secrets of the natural world in order to harness them for their to their own advantage. The next tribe is the Orascari, also known as the Dawn Seekers, and they are the collective dragonborn adventurers who originally just one day kind of like incarnated in the jungle. So like just a bunch of them just one day just woke the fuck up in this jungle place and had to settle there. Now, as far as documented history among these tribes go, the Dragonborn, or the Orascari, are the earliest known inhabitants of the jungle, although the other two tribes have a tendency to push back, or will tend to push back against this prideful claim by saying that because they just kind of popped into existence there, it doesn't really count as discovery. That said, there are a pair of mythical dragonborn known as Astelarn and Klaus, who are said to be the leaders of the Orastari. And no one does, seems to have seen them in person, at least in any recent history. But stories of those two are still told often in around the campfire or other places. Astlarn is also sometimes called the star who burns away wickedness, and Klaus is sometimes known as the metal that attracts opportunity. It's hard to say how real they are, as any stories about them have long since been or become something somewhat mythical and possibly even aggrandized. Sorry. And then the third group, which is the Kitsune, also known as the Sylvan Inquisition. They spawned from a group of Kitsune that were originally hired by Reina to investigate the jungle for materials that could be used for the development of weapons. However, due to Reina being temporarily put out of commission for several centuries, it ended up leaving these kitsune stranded without any contact with the mainland or really any way back to the mainland. As they were also sent there in the middle of turbulent times. Nobody from the mainland ever really knew about them because it was also a secret expedition. So, yeah, they just kind of ended up stranded there forever. And, well, you leave a bunch of scientists on a remote island, eventually they start fucking. So now we have a kitsune tribe in the jungle. However, of course, they have since then generally adapted to the jungle environment and have focused their worship onto the deity Daikitsu, the goddess of Kitsune. And because of that worship, they also are on fairly friendly terms with the Savari. All of that said, each of these three groups have goals that, while not contradictory, are only tangentially useful to each other. Trade is free between the three tribes, but it's very rare to see them help one another willfully. Although, as mentioned before, the Sylvan Inquisition and the Savari are more likely to cooperate than any other tribe. And they've each kind of just learned to survive on their own terms and aren't really interested in intermingling as they feel very confident in what they have accomplished on their own. And because of that, they do tend to be very individualistic and also are, well, I wouldn't necessarily say outright hostile towards outsiders. They are rather dispassionate towards outsiders and don't necessarily jump at the chance to get help from them. So that is where we are going with the campaign. Oh, and well, no, actually, I guess any questions? Although, let me do one thing really quickly. Okay. So yeah, any questions about the heading for the campaign?
If this is going to take place largely in a jungle, does that mean there's not going to be as many opportunities for like shopping or refilling of certain items? Because I just realized that, so like a character like Jethro, I just made him bring like a stockpile of extra ammunition, because who knows when he's going to be able to get more.
So I would actually say that as long as you are in the main tribal towns and cities, or villages or anything like that. I mean, obviously, the bigger locations you're going to be able to find more. But as long as you are in one of the locations of civilization in this jungle, there should be decent shopping able to be done there. But obviously, if you are in the middle of some kind of mission or anything like that that is in the middle of the wilds of the jungle, then there's not going to be any shopping. It's just going to be subsisting. But as far as ammo goes, I would personally say that both the Dragonborn and the Kitsune probably have decent know-how of making ammo.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Which tribe are we going to be dropped off closest to?
That part I actually don't know. Let me check real quick.
Are we actually doing anything today, or
Just like a
no,
session
today.
zero type.
Yeah, this is a session 0.
Okay.
Uh,
So are we like changing? I have considered making it not Sprout. Are we changing it like drastically from the way it was before?
So, while I personally don't know how long this particular arc is going to be going, I will say that it's going to be going for at least a while. So it's up to you if you do want to change up from Sprout with that in mind.
Probably not then. If it's just an arc and we're not like completely starting a new campaign, then no, I'll stick with Sprout.
Okay, yeah, it is the same. It is the same canon in general.
Oh, yeah. If we end up starting completely new, then I will definitely want to change to a different character.
Okay, as far as which tribe you'll be meeting first, that is going to be put up as a poll for everyone to vote on.
Works for me.
I was going to say, if we get a vote on it, my character definitely wants to go check out the snake people.
That's fair. The options will be that you can either meet a. There we go. The options will be either that you can meet a single tribe, or you can start by meeting individual representatives of all three. Like at once, of course.
Uh, What have we been sent here to do again?
Your task as people coming from the mainland will be to learn about their culture, their art, and their general knowledge. So any of the sciences that they've worked on around the jungle, and that can include magical sciences. So, like when it comes to the Savari, um, you could include like trying to learn about their special brands of primal magic and stuff would be included in the sciences. So all of that stuff is stuff that you are being sent to learn about and bring back to Hoshizora in some form. So whether that is immersing yourself enough into these cultures, such that you can, um, sorry, such that you can accurately bring back the portrayal of it. So like if there's an art style, or maybe there's, let's say like there's a specific type of dance, maybe there are certain songs. If you can bring back, right, faithful rendition, that's the word I was trying to find earlier. If you can bring those back in a faithful rendition, that would work. The other option is you could try to see who among the tribes might be willing to, leave the jungle, get new experiences, and go to the Hoshizora mainland somewhere along the way. Mind, obviously day one on the job, you don't necessarily want to be going like, all right, who's going to the mainland? Because, first and foremost, earn their trust. So, because as far as I know, that this whole venture into the jungle is going to be a fairly long arc overall, and so your return trip to the mainland may not be for a while.
Okay.
Any other?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. And also for Palo, I'm going to be rolling up a new character, and she is going to be a sorcerer ranger. You'll finally have someone else who can roll survival. Anyways.
I am also a master of survival.
Survival people.
Woohoo.
It made sense since my character's backstory involved being in the army, and the army would have given them survival training. So
That's fair.
Okay, Well, now I feel inadequate.
Damn.
What even honestly now I'm like kind of wanting to do the different character, but what is the party comp again? I don't even know if I could do that if it would be reasonable at all.
Right now, so we have Captain Gubane, who is a champion bard. So that's going to be like a lot of support stuff available in general.
Mhm.
Then we have Jethro, as he was before, was gunslinger, and I'm forgetting the second class, fighter, gunslinger fighter. So the range DPS. We're going to have Dax, who is a toxicologist alchemist and an investigator, so very focused on doing sciencey things. And then at some point, we're going to be getting Pacific Sun's character Niana back, who is a sorcerer cleric, has a lot of heals. Although in the meantime, I'm going to be bringing some heals as well, so that's why I'm running sorcerer ranger. There's a funny build I can do with that, so I can kind of just toggle between being healer and DPS at any point.
Okay.
We do have 2 characters that, based on their build, seem to be focused on going into melee.
Yeah, I'm a primarily melee fighter. I play a lot like a rogue in combat, so.
Me too, honestly.
I don't know if there's a room for a Blood Rager Barbarian then, so I may just continue with Sprout.
Blood Ranger
I'm
Barbarian would probably fit in. I don't think we have a strength fighter, do we?
I'm technically strength champion, but I'm not really meant for damage. I mean, I can deal damage. For example,
I don't even
I-
know what the other class that the Barbarian would be.
If you're going Blood Rager, probably Sorcerer.
Okay.
It would be my guess, since the Blood Rager can cast Sorcerer spells.
Mm-hmm.
wow, I got almost max damage. Jesus.
I'm just kind of like Sprout is very awkwardly built because they are never intended to be a different class.
I
mean, you
mean,
could also redesign Sprout.
I don't know
Yeah,
if we want to.
well, I mean, it's like the thing is, you put on the monk stuff, and I guess since you design Sprout to mainly be a druid, I would say if it comes to maintaining Sprout's identity, the druid is the important part. Yeah, the druid is the important part of Sprout's identity. So it's kind of just a question of, do you want to switch monk out to something else?
I do not want to switch it out with another magic class. No, no.
You don't have to switch it out to another magic class. Hear me out. What if Screw is a druid exemplar?
What if what?
Druid exemplar.
What's an exemplar?
Exemplar is a class that is basically, you have been infused with a touch of divinity, and it has manifested in ways that allow you to essentially make your own legend and manifest that legend through various means and symbols.
Essentially, you're the sugar baby of a god.
Yeah, something like that.
Maui would be an exemplar, Maui from Moana.
Yeah.
Yeah, exemplar is supposed to kind of represent a folk hero in many ways.
I'm not sure that I want to continue doing Sprout at all, though, is the thing.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, Barbarian would definitely fit well, and we don't really have like a front line. Like,
we don't have a tank.
Yeah, we don't have a tank.
I mean, arguably I'm a tank with my AC, but
what's your AC?
Yeah.
31 is the highest of the group.
Oh my god!
Well, yeah, champion. So champion is kind of the de facto tank, other than a guardian. Barbarian is just good at running into people's faces and bashing them in the face really hard.
Barbarian
I love
is
doing that. That's my favorite thing to do.
Barbarian is definitely like the highest DPS class. Do you want to crit every time you hit? Because that is what the Barbarian is good at doing.
Listen,
I've played Sprout for so long, I feel like it's time for Sprout to retire.
yeah, Sprout can retire and then start up an infield farm, and I mean what?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I joined
Sprouts
this
is like,
campaign
alright, I'm sick of
late,
this shit.
so-
I'm fucking off back to the planet Air. Bye.
Yeah.
Another character I want to play eventually is a Minotaur Barbarian, so you might want to check out the Minotaur race. They're fun.
If I may offer one funny idea when it comes to Barbarian, is if you instead of the Blood Rager one, instead go for the Barbarian Kineticist thing, you could
Oh yeah,
technically be
Barbarian.
a
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
I was gonna say you can if you do the Kineticist Barbarian, which is the element whatever Elemental Instinct Barbarian. There we go. Technically, you could do that as wood, which would allow you to be a barbarian that can conjure trees and hit people with them.
That's very funny.
The Elemental Instinct Barbarian stacks very well with Kineticist because of the high con needed for both, and the fact that it specifically says that any Kineticist feat that has the same element as your Barbarian element gets your rage bonus.
And can be used while raging, even if it requires concentrate.
Mhm.
You could also be Big Lizard.
Lizard.
Posted in
Lizard.
general. Lizard.
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 I kind of
Talking
want to
about Blizzard
go
Entertainment, it's
for.
me, Pirate Software.
I was kind of wanting to go for the Knoll race, possibly. If that's in here, is there a Knoll?
Yeah, Small sent me my
uh,
name to
Colo.
let me.
Or no.
Oh,
Yeah, Colo. Yeah, it's Colo.
Hello.
Oh, okay, sorry. I had a brain fart. I was like, wait, that's the language. And it's like, no. They are the Colo and their language is Colo, right?
Yeah, the hyena people.
Correct.
Yup.
I offer you the Goof Troop in that instance.
strength, intelligence, free, attribute, flaw, wisdom.
Strength Int is an interesting combo.
Yeah.
That would make a really interesting where is it? What is the
Could be like
class
an
of-
Eldritch Knight.
Yeah, like an Eldritch Knight kind of thing.
Technically also works well with mages because mages can be dex or strength based.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. Magus.
Yeah, Barbarian doesn't. Does Barbarian work with Magus though? With Spell Strike? Because
No. So mages is basically if you just want to tap into the advantages of Colo, but it does not work well with Barbarian at all.
okay, just double checking because I'm like, can't you like not cast spells at all? As
Doesn't
a
have to
Barbarian?
be a bar. Doesn't have
If
to
you're
be
a Blood
icon.
Rager, you can cast Sorcerer spells specifically.
Yeah,
There are other ways to get Spell Strike though, if that is your goal.
Would it be better to do Blood Rager or Kineticist?
I mean, strictly speaking, it's up to you, like what flavor you want to run, right? But I will say that ultimately we will have 2 sorcerers in the party once Pacific Sun gets back. So that's the only consideration you should to have. It shouldn't isn't to say don't do it at all because obviously sorcerer has the fun advantage of you can do any of the spell lists. So my character will be a primal spell list sorcerer, and Niani is an arcane sorcerer.
I'm kind of not leaning. The Kineticist would be cool if I could do electricity.
You can.
Yeah, so the elemental.
Isn't that part of air? Electricity?
Yeah, so you
it's
you would
air or
be
metal.
air. And then you could be a flying barbarian that's like literally a storm cloud that like murders people.
Yeah, I think the other option is metal. I'll double check if that still works on the barbarian, but I do know that metal gets an extended kinesis into electricity.
Neat. Kineticist, what all spellcasters should be. Because spell slots.
Yeah,
suck.
the thing though is with the elemental instinct barbarian, it only works if it's the elements listed in the element that you choose on the barbarian. So with air, it's electricity or slashing. It has to
Yeah.
have the air trait.
Well, I'm assuming I would be picking the same elements.
Yeah. I mean, you could go metal.
To be clear, by the way, when it comes to barbarian, it's not. So that's just specifically what. Yeah. So you do have to choose air to make it so your rage damage is electricity. But otherwise, if you anything beyond just those basic attacks, as long as it is the same element that you've chosen overall for your impulses, it's still fine. So, for example, if you were to, so if you were using all the funny electrical metal kineticist stuff, it technically works. But
then metal is piercing or slashing.
Yeah, I just realized that if you went elemental kineticist barbarian, you could literally just be the fucking Tasmanian devil as like a tornado that attacks people.
You could also become Thunderous from the hit video game Pokemon.
Funny things are possible here.
This is another build that I've been wanting to play. So I will, if you pick this, I will be very interested to see how it works out for you.
Just to be clear, by the way, Guardian, the barbarian, the elemental barbarian does get a feat, an optional feat at level 2, which is elemental evolution. It will let you choose the extended elemental damage for your type. So if
Okay.
you do metal with elemental evolution feat, you do get the electrical damage.
Okay.
Hmm.
So do
Yeah,
you want to be like magnets? How do they work, or do you want to be a storm?
yeah, pretty much.
ICP barbarian. It's how do they work?
Is this charging at all?
Listen, all I'm saying is that with the metal barbarian, just start chucking cars at people. I'm kidding.
We don't have cars. It's a jungle.
True. I was just gonna say that.
Well, yeah, you're
But
going
you
to be
can make
introducing
the
them to
cars.
cars by conjuring them.
I'm helping.
I didn't know we were the Brit. I didn't know we were Belgium.
Yeah, literally.
Anyways.
I'm not sure.
I just like air because it's very easy to get a fly speed with air. And
Oh, yeah,
a flying
absolutely.
barbarian is just fucking terrifying.
The only other thing I was so basically the only thing I would personally offer at least the tiniest bit of caution on is that so if you're doing an air-based barbarian, don't get me wrong, I love air. It's like my personal kin element kind of thing. But as far as kineticist goes, it is not the best at being a damage dealer, but it has a fuck ton of utility. Metal can do a shit ton of damage, but it has slightly less utility. But it's also really good at making you super bulky and tanky.
Well, yeah, but
So,
if you're also
metal would
doing
fit this character better anyway.
if you're doing barbarian though, most of your damage output is going to be from hitting things with a giant stick.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
But also you can put armor on yourself and then hit people with a giant metal stick while you're in thick metal armor. And also you can put people into a cage match and then beat them with the stick. Anyway.
So the barbarian's thing is reckless attack, which you lose some AC but gain additional bonuses to your attack roll.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
And so like the whole thing is like you can crit really easily, but you have to be using something that has an attack roll to do that.
Mm-hmm. But excuse me.
I'm pretty sure it specifies a melee weapon, but I could be wrong on that.
I'm pretty sure that I think that
barbarian. Well, let me take a look, because let's see. So, what were you saying? It was like a thing where you sacrificed your AC to get the damage or whatever?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was reckless attack, or am I thinking about 5e?
Let's see. Well, first,
It doesn't look like it's a basic feature, and it doesn't look like it's an early feat either.
Yeah, I might be thinking of 5e.
Or they might have renamed it for the renaming.
The remaster.
Yeah, the like name remaster where they got rid of all the similar like D&D name convention stuff. But yeah, reckless attack as you're describing it is basically a 5e thing where you get advantage on your attack rolls, but then other people get advantage on their rolls against you.
yeah, I'll take a look through some of these feats because I've already looked at all of the basic features, so there doesn't seem to be anything there.
I'm probably thinking of 5e. It's fine. Either way, most of the just all of the feats that I've looked at require a melee weapon, except for Raging Thrower, which requires a thrown weapon.
Let's see. It's going too far back. So if I go to Barbarian Details, so the main thing is going to be under Rage. You tap into your interfering and begin raging. You gain temporary hit points. While you're raging, you deal 2 additional damage on melee strikes. This additional damage is halved if your weapon or unarmed attack is agile. And you can't use things with the concentrate trait except unless you have the special things from your
Risky Strike. Is that in Pathfinder 1e and not this one? Risky Strike is a separate thing that you can get.
Okay.
It's like a barbarian feat. It's not something you get baseline. I'm pretty sure it was called Risky Strike in Pathfinder 1e. I don't know if it's called that in this one.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. So it's fine. But either way, like, I'm just looking at all these other feats, and it's like, make a melee strike. Which there are melee kinetic impulses, I'm pretty sure.
Kinda, yeah. So that's if you're like using weapon infusion technically, and you can also use a melee impulse. But it's a question. So the question is if it's considered a strike. So I need to look that up. Let's
Any
see.
offense taken if I pop out now?
So Elemental Blast.
You can.
All right, have a word for me.
Because it modifies Elemental Blast. Choose one of your kinetic elements and damage type listed, then make a melee or ranged impulse attack. So it does specify melee or range. So then yeah, you could use that with Barbarian.
No. So there's a weird rule, although we can house rule this, we just have to talk to the DM. So the weird technicality is that it is an impulse attack and not a strike, whereas the barbarian stuff specifies a strike.
Because it even says if you make a melee attack, you use your strength modifier.
Yeah, that much I do know. But that the problem is it's just an attack and not a strike, and barbarian lists strike on its rage, which, like I said, it's a very bizarre technicality. I think there is something that they.
Yeah, it's because there are like some spell attacks that are technically like melee, but they're not considered as like strikes.
I don't remember if they errated that or not. I'll have to look. See, PF2E, Elemental Instinct, Barbarian, errata.
I mean, just personally, I'm kind of sad to see Sprout go, just because it'd be nice for Jethro to see a familiar face. But I understand if it's something you want.
They didn't end on the best of terms, if I recall correctly.
Well, they ended on the terms of, I think, war's over, to have a drink. Unless something came up in my absence.
I'm trying to remember. I thought the war had just started. Like it was Raytha and Reyna.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, I'm also gonna hop, so I'll talk to y'all later.
Maybe. Goodbye.
Okay, see ya.
Okay.
I'm not sure at this point. I'm just like I don't know what to do with Sprout, I guess, is my thing.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I should probably stick with Sprout anyway, because I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to make another character.
You can always ask me to build one. I mean, what?
No.
Yeah, we can help you with stuff. We've been doing some of that tonight, so.
I don't know.
Mostly, I'm just really, really fast at putting together character builds, just because I've done it too many times now. The important question basically comes down to what story do you want to tell with your character? Because that's something I try to implement into every build I make.
I'll stay with Sprout for now. But I'll keep
Okay.
rotating this other character in my head.
Yeah, I don't see anything about it in the errata, so that's probably just something that honestly we could have full, is if you want to go unarmed and just use elemental impulses instead of having to actually carry a weapon around. You know, technically, if you want the magus option for a colo, if you want to do big strong or big strong character that swings around a big sword and smacks things really hard, there is the inexorable iron hybrid study for mages, which is focused on using a big two-handed weapon. So basically, you can just use a great axe, great sword, whatever the fuck you want, really. And it's focused on essentially you hit things really, really fucking hard with it during your spell strikes, and even during your focus spell that lets you recharge spell strike. That's also focused on you literally hit something so hard that it knocks it to its knees, or basically knocks it prone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, barbarian is one way to hit everything with big stick. Inexorable iron magus is also technically your other way to do it if you want to have an oddly intellectual character that hits things really hard. And of course, with if you did the magus route, that pairs really well with psychic, because psychic can get access to a particular focus spell that yeah, I think it's actually a psi cantrip. Yeah. So one of the psi cantrips, and because it is a cantrip, it doesn't use focus points. It does an absurd amount of damage for a cantrip, and it can be paired with spell strike. And yeah, it's a really funny build that I've done before, and it does an absurd amount of damage per spell strike. And if you run out of your big spell slots, you can just keep going. But you also are going. That's also dealing with all of psychic spell slots, so not quite as fun to deal with. The other option, of course, is doing like inventor. Invent
So
technically lets
many
you,
options, my brain is exploding.
right here. I'm going to tell you though, I'm not going to go too far into any of the other options, but I will say with inventor, with the inexorable iron magus, lets you build your own giant club, giant greatsword, whatever the fuck, giant big melee weapon that you can hit really hard with, and also pair it with your additional invention damage things, like hitting it with a lot of extra electricity damage or something. It's pretty funny.
Yay. Okay, I will have to revisit this another night. I am out of energy.
Sure. If you want,
But for now,
I-
I'm definitely just gonna stick with Sprout.
okay. Yeah, if you want, I can also throw you like sample builds for any of the hit things with big stick.
He thinks a big stick. Okay. Sticking with Sprout with Sunny as my little freak.
But then I'll have you know what's actually happening is it's not Sprout, but Sunny that's going over there, and Sunny is now a barbarian. I mean, what?
That would be funny. And also very much something Sunny does, like turn into a fucking dragon.
Yeah. He's the big, bulky, like, dragon kitsune in field.
Yes.
But anyways, have a good night.
Okay, have a good night.
Have a good night. See you next time.
And now, to stuff. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I need help with anything in particular.
Oh, I know. Actually, what you really need help with is upgrading Jethro's gun to an even bigger gun. Anyways.
I mean, I actually already did that with one of them. I put on the large bore parts so that it does 1 extra damage but requires 2 extra strength to use.
Oh, fantastic. Listen, secretly, in all that downtime, Jethro became an inventor, and you run Gunslinger Inventor, so that way your invention weapon is just a big fucking gun that shoots out giant electrical lasers. I mean, what?
No, that was honestly a character I was thinking of. It's, yeah, it would be a Gunslinger Inventor. And, yeah, their invention would just be a big gun with lots of cool features on it. Although, I remember last time I looked at some of the Inventor features, a lot of the weapon options were kind of underwhelming, but I'll have to look at those again.
Yeah, because
Maybe it's just the early level ones.
Well, I guess, did you look at it since the remaster for Guns and Gears came out?
Maybe? I'll have to look at the innovations again, because the last time I built a character, it was on Path Builder for some reason, so I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, you don't have to, but if you want to fuck around with it, you know, the Guns and Gears stuff did get the remaster fairly recently, like about 6 months ago, I think, 4 to 6 months. So they did make Inventor at least a little less cancerous to play.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it was just some of the earlier options were underwhelming, but I see there are some extra options you could pick at 7th level, and I'll have to look at some of those.
Yeah. Because it would honestly be kind of funny. Like, the backstory with Jethro is that in the downtime, Jethro took an apprenticeship under Lavina, because I know Jethro met Lavina.
Yep.
So Jethro secretly took an apprenticeship under Lavina, and now knows how to invent bigger guns.
I mean, it would be neat, but I like what I have now just because a lot of the fighter abilities really help me out.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's just his whole thing is guns, but it's also like being really up close in people's faces while also being really like nimble and agile, and fighter helps a lot with some of that.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, goodbye, Silvaria. I should also probably go ahead and end stream.
Okay.
So, let's see. 1 sec. Well, anyways, yeah, that will be all for tonight. And next week, next Sunday, that's right, we'll be starting
with our adventure into the unknown jungles with unknown dangers. It's totally not a bunch of plants that'll just try to eat and TPK the party, but yeah.
I feel like I've done
For
this before.
Right. For anyone who tuned in, thank you for watching, and hasta la vista.